everybody. Welcome back to Eliza Builds Stuff. So today, got the face cam on because I'm very excited to show you something that took me about 5.5 hours to build, I think. It is a giant 3-story sort of brick. It's like a mini mansion because it's huge, but I wouldn't call it a mansion, but it is a giant brick Craftsman house. And so the Craftsman style is something very near and dear to my heart, and so I wanted you guys to see how I built it. I was using a reference picture before I started building. I went on once again to the Our Cozy Places subreddit and just found this really beautiful picture of this giant brick house that had sort of an octagonal front with a matching wraparound porch that went around it, and the rest of the porch, or the rest of the shape of the house, was basically just a rectangle, and it was a combination of kind of like a gothic looking sort of witchy house, but also because of the warm brick, it was really farmy. And so there was absolutely no indication that the interior would be decorated Craftsman, and it wasn't Craftsman on the exterior at all, but I just figured it was a style that would fit this house really well because of the old feeling that I got when I looked at it. And the picture was also like, it was like nestled in the woods, and it just seemed like something that was possibly built and then forgotten and then revived. And so that's sort of the storyline that I decided for this house. So I figure the people that live in this house are maybe a pair of professors, and they met each other when they were getting their PhDs, and they got jobs at the same school, university, and maybe the wife is a economics professor and the husband is a English or philosophy professor, and they decided to have 2 kids later in life because they spent their entire young lives getting their degrees and getting their jobs, and then once they settled down they had kids, and so they had, this house is going to end up having 3 bedrooms in it, a master bedroom with an attached ensuite, and a teenage boy's bedroom, and a young girl's bedroom. And so the boys' room is blue, the girls' room is pink. And so, but if you guys go and download this house on the gallery, which you can, I uploaded it to the gallery. My name on The Sims is the same as it is here, Eliza Builds Stuff. I at one point was going to name my channel Eliza Pancakes, or some variation of Eliza Pancakes, because my name's Eliza and there's a townie named Eliza, but I was like, I kind of feel like, first of all, there's tons of Eliza Pancakes all over the place, and 2, I don't know anything about her, there's all these storylines in The Sims, and I spend most of my time playing with my own Sims families that I built, or just building. So I don't know anything about the townies. People know stuff about the goths and land grabs and stuff, but I don't know because I haven't actually played through the story, quote unquote. So I was like, I don't know anything about this pancakes lady. I don't know anything about the pancakes family, so I better steer clear from the pancakes because I don't know these people. Just felt weird to impersonate someone that I don't know. So I just did Eliza Build Stuff because self-explanatory. That's all you need to know. And so as you can see here, I've got that roof clipping problem again, and some of the columns clip, some of them don't. There's something weird with some recent patch, and I've complained about it in all 3 videos that I've made so far, but something weird about that patch, and later I'm going to be replacing these columns. Okay, so I'm not claiming to know a lot about architecture. I took in college a History of American Architecture class, and I took architectural drafting classes to learn how to actually do the drafting and drawing and the math and draw blueprints and stuff, but I don't have an architecture degree. I've only taken 1 American architecture class, and that was years ago because I'm old. So but I do know basically the Craftsman style, what time period it's from, what the aesthetic is, and so I break the rules a lot in this video about what Craftsman is. And so what I can tell you about Craftsman that I know right off the bat is that it's all about very straight bold lines, like columns are just big rectangles, lots of like appreciation for wood and raw wood. And so these columns that I'm replacing those other columns with, not Craftsman. Nope, nothing's Craftsman about it. It's more of like a San Francisco type, like painted lady type column. But I really, really liked the look of it on this house in particular because I just thought that it like brightened up the brick, because the brick is very, I wanted to use this brick even though it's kind of outdated, but it's very orange. It's very brown. So I was like, we need a white. We need something to like just brighten it up and be happy and fun, and make it look like someone. So in my professor's storyline, they bought this house and they are working hard to fix it. They maybe brought in like the architectural history teacher from the university that they work at and said, help us revive this old 100-year-old house. And so yeah, so it's kind of a mishmash of styles, mishmatch of styles, and yeah. And so one thing to be careful of when you're building giant houses, and I'm a victim of this. I do this all the time, and so I kept that in mind when I was building this in particular. Is just because your house is big doesn't mean you need to cover it in windows. Like not every surface of the house needs to be a window unless it's some giant like modern thing, some giant glass like Del Sol Valley modern Hollywood thing. That can be all glass if you want. But if you're building something kind of old, kind of suburban, don't cover it in windows because you wouldn't. And also, the more windows you put on the outside of your house, the harder it is to dress the inside because you can't put certain things in front of windows, and it kind of dictates how you have to do your floor plan, because you normally want your windows to be center in a room or symmetrical. You don't want to have like one weird window like off to the side and then another window. What I'm saying? And so sort of go light on the windows. Now, I did not go light on the windows in this house. There are a ton of windows, but I didn't go as crazy as I could have. So a little bit of restraint, I guess, goes a long way. You see how I like put those giant windows and then I replaced them with smaller windows. And I only put 4. I didn't put 12 or 16 like I wanted to, just like pull back a little, just a little, pull back, just rein it in. And then, yeah, with this floor plan, I had no plan. I had no plan at all for what I was going to do with this floor plan. And floor plans are honestly something that I struggle with the most when building in The Sims, because like you've just got this giant empty shell and it's like, what does this call for? Like floor plan wise, what does this want? I know that I don't want a wall to go straight through the middle of a window, but and so I knew that downstairs I wanted a dining room, kitchen, an office for our professor, and also a living room, of course, and then probably a downstairs bathroom. And so with that in mind, I just started putting lines down. Something also to keep in mind when you're doing your floor plans is and I know that like with The Sims, people normally aren't going for like historical accuracy, but sometimes people are. And so that's what I was doing here. And I figured if this is like 100-year-old house that was built in architecturally appropriate time period, then they didn't do open floor plans back then. They did, everything was very closed off, very separated. Lots of really long hallways with really small, like the doorways were really small and they were shorter back then. I don't know if like the human race has grown. Well, I know that the human race has grown in the past couple centuries. But not that much, not like feet, but they really liked teeny tiny little doorways, very low ceiling heights, very cramped hallways. And so although I normally do these big open floor plans where you can like walk in the front door and see all the way through the living room into the kitchen. This time I was like, can't do that because they just didn't back in the day. It was very closed off. Like you'd walk into the foyer, and you'd see nothing. You'd see a wall and some doors, and then you'd have to pick which door you go through to find, whatever room it is. So, and then I go putting that carpet down again. I love that carpet where it's got the 2 swatches where one is like clean, just this one too, this red one that I'm about to put down, love it. One where it's clean and new and the other one is more faded. I always use the faded version because I just love a giant, like, faded antique carpet. So with these stairs, I cut out a ton of me messing with the stairs because I was like, oh, I'm going to do like a cool, because they don't have spiral staircases in The Sims, obviously, but with the new update, you can sort of mess with it so that the stairs go up and then up and then up and then just sort of double over on themselves and keep going up. So it's kind of like a squared spiral. I haven't been able to figure out how to do that. I've seen some other people in other videos do it. I don't have the patience, and so I messed with those stairs for a long time, like long time, and I cut all of that out. So it looks like I just very confidently put the stairs down and then put a right angle on it, but no, that's not what happened. I put the stairs down and then I started trying to mess with them, trying to make them like go up, and then no, it didn't work out. And then I always forget to put the stairs. I was very proud of myself in this particular build that I like came inside and I was like, stairs. Here are the stairs, right here, putting them down. Don't forget it. But when we go upstairs and then dress the second floor, because there are 3 floors on this giant mini mansion, I forgot the stairs. I built the entire second floor and I was like, oh, it's so cute. And then did not put any stairs. Ooh, so right here in the video, I tried to do something interesting. I'm sure that there are other Sims builders out there that have done it more successfully than me, but in a lot of Craftsman houses, you'll see separating 2 rooms from each other is 2 columns, 2 sets of columns like this, and then in between each column is a cabinet of some sort of storage cabinet, usually open shelving right here. And so you've got these 2 columns and a cabinet, and then you walk through the middle. So it's kind of like an open archway made out of 2 very heavy square columns. And so I tried to approximate it, separating the foyer from the living room by just, I tried a bunch of different options that I just cut out of this video because it was taking too long and it was really obnoxious to look at. But I got it about as close as I think I could get it. Because, there's just some things that The Sims wasn't necessarily built for, so you just have to kind of, fudge it using alt place. So that's what we were doing. And then for the living room, pretty much I just, you can filter. You might not know this, you probably do if you're into The Sims enough to be watching build videos, but you can filter items by style. And so some of the names that The Sims team have given for these styles I've never heard of before, and I've never heard of some of these like Cosmo Lux and things like that. So but if you sort by mission, which is very extremely similar to Craftsman, then you end up getting most of the furniture that I used in this house. But because it's very limited, there's only about like 1 of each thing, like 1 couch, 1 chair, 1 bookshelf that's in mission style. I had to use a bunch of other random sort of wood objects, and so that's why it's not the most. This is not the most historically accurate build, And some of the things that I chose to use, like that was the only mirror. This is the only Craftsman mirror. And one weird thing about that mirror is that when you put it on a wall, it goes right in the middle, and so I kept having to raise it, and I was like, why does this mirror go right in the middle of the wall? Oh, yeah, that cut right there is because I lost some of my footage. I don't know where it went. I don't know what happened. But all I really did was just like cluttering the kitchen. So you missed some kitchen clutter. So if you want to see all that kitchen clutter, go download this house in the gallery. If you play The Sims on a console, I don't know how to help you. And I don't know what you're doing, honestly. Why? You're missing out on a lot if you play The Sims on a console. I personally have never done it. I couldn't even play The Sims on my phone because they have an app. Couldn't play it on my phone. It was very frustrating because I'm really more. I mean, I love playing The Sims. I'm really more of a builder. I really love to build in The Sims, and so when I was playing on my phone and I could only afford like half a couch at a time, I was like, I can't play this game. Oh, this was also, this build was a good opportunity to use wallpapers that I've never used in my life and never probably will touch ever again. So this wallpaper makes me physically ill. It is loud. It is wild. It's very old lady-ish, but it's extremely appropriate for this house. I thought it fit it very well. I'll probably never touch it again. And the tiled wall in the kitchen, hate it. Personally hate it. It fits. It works. It makes sense to this family. I would never use it ever. So, but you like have to have an appreciation for house styles of houses that you personally would never live in. Like if I had to build my dream house, it would be white, it would be glass, it would be, stone and marble, and I'd have millions of dollars to build it. But Craftsman can also be very beautiful. Just the way that I styled this, because I built it, so I'm criticizing myself. But it's kind of old lady-ish. It's kind of old people-ish, but it's also very appropriate for the style and the times. And also, I say this in all of my videos, but I don't have all the packs. I'm not rich enough to have bought all of the Sims packs. I definitely don't think that I will be getting the new Wizards pack, just because I've seen all of the mechanisms and furniture and stuff, and I don't think that it was really enough for me. So I'm gonna wait till it goes on sale. I buy most of my packs when they go on sale, so I don't have all the packs, and so I'm very limited with building this house, and so I did what I could. So there might be, some sort of Craftsman-esque, arts and crafts mission pieces of furniture and other packs that I just don't have, and so you might be yelling at me from your computer being like, why didn't you use the blah blah blah? It's because I don't have the blah blah blah. I have what I have, and I'm doing what I can. And I love this little office. This office to me is so precious. The wood on wood is very at first when I put it down, I was like, this is very saloonish, and it's a little scary. But then when I started dressing it, I was like, no, this is picture the cutest little older gentleman, and he's a professor, and he's quiet, and he wears cardigans and glasses, and he wears a cardigan every day, no matter where he's going. It doesn't matter how fancy anything is. He just is always wearing a cardigan because it's just comfortable for him. It's just comfortable, and he just likes to wear a cardigan. He's very soft spoken, and he's very sweet. And this is his little office. It's his little wooden office that he just yep, that green lamp. It's it's a something's lamp, not a secretary's lamp, but I don't know. There's a term for that sort of green lamp, and I adore that lamp. I love that lamp so much. I'd put it in any build, even if it's a super modern build, that little green lamp. But I figured this professor gentleman would have it. So this professor gentleman, what is his name? I feel like naming him Eugene would be a little too on the nose, so we're gonna go with something like Richard. His name is Richard. Professor Richard Snapple. This house belongs to the Snapple family. Mr. and Mrs. Dr. Snapple. So one thing that's interesting. So, people with, first of all, this is the ensuite that we're building. And I put the toilet in a separate room. I love to just build in my, I'll go back to what I was talking about in a second. But in the bathrooms for my builds, I always, if there's space, put a 2x1 square toilet room, just because I think that that's how it should be in everyone's houses. In every bathroom in the whole world, there should be a separate room for the toilet, because it is so annoying if you have to go to the bathroom, but the person who shares that bathroom with you wants to take a shower or wash their hands or brush their teeth. They have to leave because you want to use the toilet. You shouldn't have to do that. There should be a separate room. You should be able to close the door and do your business, and then open the door and brush your teeth. It should be law, is that all bathrooms should be single occupancy unisex in public restrooms and stuff, because I'm sick of public restrooms not being single occupancy unisex, and every house on the planet should have a separate room for the toilet. It just makes sense. But let me tell you about something else that annoys me as you watch me decorate this bedroom, which is a pretty standard bedroom, so I'm going to talk over it. So people with PhDs are doctors. People with PhDs often marry each other just because you have to spend so much time in an academic world to get a PhD that you usually just end up meeting people and marrying people with PhDs. So if two people with PhDs get married, then they are two doctors, obviously. And so if two people, so the Snapple family, for example, if you were going to address a letter to them, you'd write Doctors Snapple, DRS dot, and then the last name, Doctors Snapple. And both of my parents are doctors. My last name is Roberts. So when I was young, teachers used to write on like notes to my parents, Doctors Roberts. And every time I looked at that, I was like, my teacher is an idiot. This is not a word. Doctors Roberts. And so I'd go home and be like, Mom, Dad, my teacher is an idiot. And they'd be like, no, it's Doctors Roberts. And at that point, I was like, I just learned to read and I already know that it's a lost cause for me. English is insanity. English is so wrong and ridiculous. What is Doctors Roberts? And that's just a rant because I think about that a lot. That moment that when I first read Doctors Roberts. Anyway, so this is the teenage boy's bedroom. I love for boys' bedrooms to do a blue and a red color scheme. And so I just went with like blue walls, blue furniture, and then red curtains, and that cute little bright red lamp I really love. And so I figure, so this kid, his name is Daniel Snapple, and he is about to graduate from high school. He's going to be college age, and he is toying with the idea of either not going to college at all or going to a small college across the country, just because he grew up with academic parents and he's sick of it. And his parents are like, just go to our school, our university that we teach at. Like, it's a great school, and we can get you in with the recruiter, and you know, we'd know all your teachers, and it would be great, and you could live at home. And Daniel's like, no, why would I do that? That sounds horrible. And so that's his deal. I personally don't get it. I went to college in the same town that I grew up in, and it was great for me because it meant that my mom could do my laundry. If you're like a junior in high school and you're having to start figuring that out, just stay home. You know, living at home is perfectly fine if you're in college. And honestly, other people are probably very jealous of you if you live at home while you're in college because your mom can do your laundry. But I didn't live at home, and my mom still did my laundry, and it was awesome. Speaking of laundry, we have a laundry room. So I was putting together the kids' bathroom, the second floor bathroom, and I was like, this bathroom is huge, too huge. It's big enough even after I moved it over for the laundry room to still have two separate sinks, which I think is every sibling's dream. If not to have a separate bathroom, to at least have a separate sink, because girls are gross and boys are gross in very different ways, and so it's really nice to have separate sink situations. But I wanted a laundry room. I originally didn't know where to put it, so when I saw how huge the bathroom was turning out, I just sort of moved some walls over and stuck a laundry room in there. It's a little weird to have a door right to the left of your stairs as you walk up, but that's about all I could do. And as you've probably not noticed, just like me, I did not put stairs to the third floor so far, and so we're dressing the little girl's bedroom. She loves animals, but she was never allowed to have pets because the academic professor, Doctors Snapple, did not let her have any pets, but she was obsessed with them, and so she just had animal stuff all over her room, and that's the only storyline that I really came up with for her because she's a kid and what do kids do. But yeah, so real soon is when I'm going to realize I didn't put any stairs in. I'm just happily dressing this upstairs area, not even thinking about the fact that I'm going to have to destroy it in a minute to put in stairs. Still oblivious. Oh, there we go. All right. So this is when I'm like, oh gosh, stairs. Where do the stairs go? Honestly, I'm making a really big deal out of it. It's not a huge deal at all. I just put the stairs there and then moved the little girl's door over, and then it was fine. I just had to move a couple of things. And so now we're upstairs. And here's the fun thing about the upstairs is that originally it was an attic. But and wouldn't have been an attic because it's got that big balcony leading off of it, but let's just pretend that originally it was an attic. And so then the Snapple family, you know, they had these kids, and then their kids started to grow up, and the kids were like, "Mom, Dad, we don't have anywhere to hang out with our friends. We live in this giant old house. There's nothing fun to do here. Help." And so they had the upstairs renovated into a theater room. And I think this room is dope. I love this room. I would have loved to have had this room growing up, because you've got all those awesome seating and couches. You've got this juice bar upstairs. I've never used this bar before because it's always been too big for the houses that I built, but I thought it worked perfectly here. I can just imagine the Snapple family being either donated this bar from somewhere, or they just like found it at an old antique shop and they were like, you know what? Let's take this thing home. It's the same age as our house. It's 100 years old or whatever. We're gonna take it home, and then we're gonna renovate the upstairs, turn it into a rec room, and so that's what it is now. It's a big theater room, which I think is super cool. I can't really see actual like Sims using it because there's a TV downstairs, and but you know, like as far as just imagining actual people, like this being an actual design for a house instead of a Sims house, I can see it being really cool. Although, if you did in The Sims go to the gallery, download this house, and play it, you could throw a really cool party up there. I think you could host a lot of people. You could have a wedding on the grounds of this house and then throw the party upstairs after the wedding. But yeah, so I did very minimal landscaping on this because honestly, to tell you the truth, I was tired. I was just really tired after building this and decorating everything. I was tired when we got to the upstairs, so it's not decorated as well as it could have been. I was tired by the time I was landscaping, so it's not landscaped as well as it could have been, but we are almost done. So terrain paint is always the last thing that I throw down because it just makes everything look all nice and tidy. And I think that's about gonna do it because I really didn't add anything to the outside except a couple of plants and some terrain paint. But I hope you guys liked this video. I hope that you had fun watching me make this house. And I'll see you next time.